Hi guys, back with a new video, and this is Gambit from Z Studios. Now this is the silver which I use for his boots. This is the base color. Now here I'm gonna use the blue ink to do some nice blue shades on it. This will take some time, but it's a slow process. You don't want to overspray too much with the airbrush, so you have to go like really just a little bit. Later on I'm gonna return with the silver and I'm going to cover up a little bit the overspray from the blue so it's not that obvious. Now you may notice on his boots that the knee pad is changed out. I changed it out. I like more this one. Now don't stress too much about the blue overspray. You can go back in and just cover it up with a little silver, as you may see it in my video as well. And now here I'm gonna pass the silvers just slightly over the blue ink, just where it's too much of the blue. And now here I'm gonna pass some loom oil wash in the deepest parts of the scalp. This will be to define the muscles a little bit more to the boots so you can see it better. Now don't overdo it, just go slightly with this one because you don't want too much. Now here I'm gonna use the black wash and I'm gonna do all the panel linings on the boots so it stands a little bit more out. It just makes it look more better. Now here I'm gonna use this basic black just to do the bottom part of his boots. Now just a reminder that sometimes in my videos I don't record giving a second coat, but just you know that everything usually it's a second coat for me. I always pass 2 coats, except the base color, usually it's just 1 coat. Everything else usually is 2 coats, especially if I do it with the paintbrush. So I cover up a little with the paint, the stroke of the paintbrush. Everything else usually it's 2, sometimes it's 3 if it doesn't cover too much. Now this top part of the boots, I'm gonna give it some Noom oil. Again, this will be 2 coats as well. The black wash was just 1. It's a little bit stronger, so it doesn't need 2. This one I will pass 2 of the Noom oil wash, so it looks a little bit different. And now you can see the comparison between the 2 of them. One of them is finished, so it has a little bit of a chrome highlights on it, and the other one doesn't, so that will be the next step. Now here I'm using this chrome metal from Green Stuff. It's pretty amazing. Now you have to go really light with this one. You don't want to push too much. You don't want to cover up all the rest of your work. Actually I would have to go and pass the dark wash, black wash, just slightly in some parts. Now this chrome I only use as a highlight, so just makes it a little bit stand out, so it's just a little bit here and there. I don't want to cover too much. Now as for Gambit chest piece, it's a mixture between a pink and a purple, so I'm gonna mix up these 2 colors, and in the third picture you can see the results. It's something between them. Now the ratio of the 2 paints, it's 1:1, so it's easier to mix up. Now these are metallics, they actually mixed up really good together. So I'm gonna do the chest piece, and I'm gonna do on his legs the side panels, I will call them, that they are the same color, and actually I'm really happy how they look ended up in the end. Now here I taped up the parts I don't want the metallics to go on. It's sometimes a little bit harder to cover up than with the paint, so I just taped it up really quick, and just the same pink purple color that I put down as I used on the chest piece. Now here I'm using this magenta ink just to do the definition of the muscles a little bit, and again makes it looks really good. I like how it comes out. Now on his legs, on the panels, I'm only gonna use this color only on the darkest part of it, and more in the shadow. So on his left leg will be only on the left side, and on the right leg will be on both sides, and the middle will be more highlighted. Now here I'm gonna use this pink just to do some highlights on the abs and on his chest. And after that I'm gonna bring another ink in just to bring everything together. Now here I'm using this pink ink to just kind of bring out the whole piece together. So it's not as much standing out, it's just everything nice. Now here on the leg piece I'm gonna use on the left side the right side, and on the right side I'm gonna use it just in the middle. And as you can see over here, it's all nicely come together. All the colors just gives this nice glowing effect almost to it. Here I'm just gonna use the silver that I use for the basic boots color as well. Nothing too out of extraordinary, just cover up as much with some masking putty and then put down the silver. And here's some black for the, I will call it neck piece, just to make it a little bit more standish out. Here we're gonna do some blue highlights on his trousers. I covered up the side panels. I don't want to ruin the pinkish purple color I made over there. Now here we're gonna use this blue wash, and I'm gonna give 2 coats on this one, on the blue and on the whole trousers basically, just to brings everything more together, so it looks like more a black bluish. I'm gonna use this blue black color, actually it's a gray, and I'm gonna do the strips on his trousers again, make it a little bit pop more. Now here I'm gonna use this brown to do his hair. What basically I'm doing is just dry brushing some brown on the black. I didn't even paint the black, it was just a primer. and just dry brush it as much as possible. I'm trying to leave the black a little bit pop out here and there. And now here I'm gonna use this brown to do some highlights. It's a lighter brown. Some highlights on the hair. Sorry, the recording is a little bit off. Here I'm using this wash just to bring the whole thing together. And it makes it a little bit more outstanding. The whole brown thing. Now I'm using this as the base skin color. Gambit doesn't have too much of a skin showing, it's just his face and a couple of his fingers. Now here I'm going to use these washes red, blue and yellow separately just to give it a little bit of a depth to his skin color. As you can see, I'm just putting it down the red as much as possible. I'm trying not to let it dry, so I'm going fast as possible, and I'll just take a sponge and just take most of it up. Just leave it lightly in. So I'm doing this for all three colors. Now this will be the main color I'm gonna use for his skin. Try to go light as possible. If you need to water down a little bit the paint, just do it. Depends how thick is your paint, and try not to put too heavy so it doesn't cover up your previous work. Now this will be just a little bit of a highlights I'm trying to do on the most raised parts of his face. This one I have to go even lighter, so just barely, just a little bit touching it. Now this one here will be for the more shadowy parts of his face. Most they don't stand up, so even this one again, try to go as light as possible. Now here I'm gonna use this light wash just to do some of the deepest parts of the sculpt, just really lightly, just to Now here I have this highlighted, like really watered down, just to blend everything together. Now here I'm gonna use this brown wash to make his beard. Unfortunately this had to keep it close to the camera so I can see, so I don't overspray too much. Here I'm gonna use some darker Noom oil wash. Same for the beard, just slightly here and there, not too much. Same brown that I used for his basic hair color. I'm gonna use black for his eye, and then later on I'm just gonna put 2 pink dots in the middle, and that will be mostly his eye. And now just covering up all the rest in black. I'm gonna hand paint all of this. It's no point taping it up or masking it up, it's way faster with the hand. If he didn't have his ears sticking out, then maybe I will spray paint it, but this way will be just too much. Usually I use this pink horror for his lips. What I'm doing is mixing up with some water, so it's I will say 2 drops of pink, 1 drop of water, and then I'm gonna use a wash to blend everything in. Now here I'm using this wash, the red one, just to bring down the pink a little bit. It's not too pinkish in the end when it's gonna dry up. Now I use this brown, light brown for the interior of his coat. Now I'm gonna use this brown red wash just to go over the light brown. I'm gonna use this black wash to go inside the line of the light brown, just to make the details pop a little bit. I'm gonna go over all the small details inside his coat. I'm gonna use this black to do all the parts. Now here I'm using this oak brown for the whole of his coat. Just the edges on the inside, and the rest will be black. Now here we can do some shadows with the no oil wash. I don't know if guys how much experience you have with leather. I used to be a tailor, so I used to work with leather, doing leather jackets and all that. So this how the leather after a while will age after being in a harsh environment like fights and everything, so more or less. Now I'm gonna pass over some lighter hand and the Noom oil, the black wash. Again, this is just how the leather will look after some harsh environment. Here I'm still using the black wash just to do the stitches around it, so all the details look a little bit better. By the way, this part of the coat is actually plastic printed on the FDM printer. For a long time now I started printing all the coats or especially capes on the plastic side because the resin, it's way too heavy and it can damage the statue over time. It can actually break, crack slowly, so the plastic is a little bit lighter. Now FDM printers, they are so good, you don't almost notice the difference. Here I'm using this lighter brown to do the highlights. Just dry brushing a little bit over the coat, and this will be the part of the leather that after wearing it, just gonna lose this color. You may see I sculpted the belt on it. It's two-part putty. The thing is, like, because the bottom part of the coat it's plastic printed and the rest of the chest piece is resin, it was a little bit of a gap, so I was thinking if I sculpt the belt on it, it's gonna look a little bit better. Now at the moment the belt it's quite thick, but after it dries I actually made it a little bit thinner so it doesn't stand out as much, and I'm gonna paint it black so it blends in perfectly. You're gonna see it in the next part of the video. You don't even notice it anymore. Now here I'm using this brown red wash just to bring everything together kind in a way, so it doesn't stand out too much. Now you can see at the belt as well, it's already thinned down, painted up black. It's like part of the coat, it was like always there. Now after this wash is done, that's it. Literally the statue just had to be glued together and done. Now the hand, the stick for his hand, I used metal rods. Every time I print the sticks, it never straight. It's after a while it's almost like bending as well. So I never was happy how. So for the last, this is my third Gambit I painted up now. So I always done the metal rods. I think it's just better overall. Now this is the end of the video. Enjoy the pictures and the 360 turnaround. Now the next video will be Spider-Man, and I'm gonna do a follow-up later on with Gambit with his powers, throwing effects. I had some problems printing the translucent resin. I have a video planned on that one as well. And if you liked it or you learned something, give it a like. If you have any questions, put it down in the comments, and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. And see you on the next one.